Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 23 in season number 8 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway for the final time in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. This track will not be returning in season number 9 as it is the least popular racetrack on the circuit. I was a little surprised when we did that Chick-fil-A Cup Series survey a couple of weeks ago. Pretty much every racetrack got at least half of everyone to vote for it, except for this one. Only about a third of you guys voted for this racetrack, and it was clearly the worst racetrack on the circuit, at least to you guys. So with that, we don't find a need to return here in season number 9 if the track is that unpopular. So with that, this will be the final ever MRO 401 here today. 55 laps of action around this 1.479 mile sort of odd-shaped racetrack in Rockingham, United Kingdom, over in England. And I think another thing, too, that really makes this race, kind of an outlier is just how far away these guys technically have to go. Of course, this is just an Enter 2003 league, but the rest of the events in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series take place in the United States. This is the only one, and the only one for a while, that has only taken place outside of the United States. And like we mentioned, just don't really find a need for it anymore, unfortunately. But either way, we're going to have a fun one here around the Rockingham Motor Speedway. Like I mentioned, 55 laps, and Matthew Phillips starts on the pole position in the number 15, but Nathan Baird is still the points leader, extended his points lead after Watkins Glen last week with another stellar performance. And I think a lot of people are really not appreciating just how this championship battle is going on, including myself. But we honestly have to give it to Nathan Baird here. The way he has driven this season, he is more than deserving of the championship, at least at this point, which is why we went to this system. We didn't want, this, crapshoot system where, you have to win Homestead in order to win the championship. This way, Nathan Baird earns it. He deserves it, as he has clearly been the most consistent driver this season. 2 wins on the season, and coming into this race with 653 points. Doesn't really matter at this point. He's 88 points ahead of Emily Anderson. Matthew Phillips 97 points behind. But Phillips with a shot here and maybe making things interesting, because Nathan Baird starts 29th. Phillips starts on the pole. Justin Roberts 105 behind, and Sebastian Cucalon 112 points behind. That's the top 5 in points coming into the 23rd race of the season. Still 6 races left. We got this one here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. Got Bristol next week. That's going to be an interesting one. Then Talladega, Darlington, Indy, and Homestead. Those final 4 races can go anybody's way, and they're huge wild card races, those last 4 races, because we got a lot of interesting stuff to happen at those places. So it's going to be an interesting fight to the finish here. And if Nathan Baird has a couple of races where he wrecks out, finishes deep in the field, this championship could open wide up. And wide open, I should say, because that's what happened in the Haas IndyCar Series. Justin Seidel had a near full race point lead heading into the penultimate race last weekend at Watkins Glen. Wrecked out in that race, and now we got 4 guys who are running on each other for the championship, and 2 other guys who have still a shot at winning the championship. So next week we're going to really have a great championship battle in the Haas IndyCar Series, and everybody except Nathan Baird is hoping that that's the case here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series with 6 races left. But Nathan Baird, starting 29th, wants a clean race here today. And as we get these guys to roll off, we'll have to see what he can do as this race goes along. He's been able to rebound from all his tough starting positions. Kentucky, he gained a lot of ground there. Last week at Watkins Glen was very impressive for Nathan Baird, because he started deep in the field for that race, and on a road course moved his way through the field to a top 10 finish. And with that, he comes into this race 88 points behind, or should I say ahead. He's not behind anybody. Emily Anderson's the one behind him. He's 88 points ahead of the field, nearly 2 full races ahead of the field, coming in with 6 races left to go. So a lot has to happen for somebody other than Nathan Baird to win the championship. Matthew Phillips on the inside of Zachary DeLello. And you might have noticed we did not have qualifying for this event. We added the 2 drivers lowest in the championship standings as the uncharted drivers. That was Zachary DeLello and Colton Yo. The starting lineup was randomized like it was done from seasons 1 to seasons 6. Carter Friesen to the inside of John Arndt, Silas Orta, and Jonathan Skibnicki, Cody Sill, and Brad Stover. And then you have the number 16 machine alongside Jesse Turner, Garrett Sonora and Jesse Turner. A couple of guys, and even John Arndt, on the road to 20 wins, trying to get the 20th career victory. Of course, Turner's at 17 right now, has 3 races to go, but John Arndt and Garrett Sonora, both 1 race left to go, and they'll win number 20. We'll have to see what they do in this race here today. We're green flag racing in the final MRO 401. Lap 1 led by Matthew Phillips, so that is a bonus point towards the championship for him. And every point is going to help in his fight to catch up to Nathan Baird before Homestead. Carter Friesen going to dive to the inside, take the lead away. And this place is just hard to describe. Every single corner has a different angle. But they're all about, let's say, 14 degrees in banking. I think that's what it is here. It's a pretty flat racetrack. It's just unique. But almost too unique for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, which might be a reason why no one voted for it a couple weeks ago. And like I said, this is the last race we're going to have here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, at least in the near future. So all these drivers want to do all they can to get the race victory here today. Carter Friesen out front on the 68. He's going for his first ever Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. You got Zachary DeLello, who last week won in the Rockstar Pro Series at Watkins Glen. I've yet to record the RPS race that you guys saw yesterday from here. But DeLello finally got points in his championship over in the Rockstar Pro Series, and here he is running 3rd in number 67. Silas Orta, Cody Sill, top 5. Emily Anderson now. This is another interesting situation. Anderson's 2nd in the points. She's currently in the 8th position. You're going to want to watch out for her in this race because she's going to have a very good chance. Now in 6th, I should say. At closing in on Nathan Baird pretty significantly in the championship if Nathan Baird falls deep in the field. There's Jonathan Skibnicki in the car that won this race last year. Jordan Carter won this event last year, and then number 26 machine. Then you got John Arndt, Christian Master, and Garrett Sonora rounding out the top 10. Andrew Miller there, Brad Stover, Alexander Rose falling back just a little bit. Jesse Turner's falling way back. He started in the 10th position. He's now in the 17th position. Nathan Baird, number 40, has fallen back as well. Baird is in the 32nd position, very deep in the field as he's behind Matt Dahlia right now, battling for the 31st position. Not exactly where Nathan Baird wants to be, especially considering that the next 2 guys behind him in the championship standings are both inside the top 6. Matthew Phillips leading, Emily Anderson in the 6th position. And Friesen and Phillips continue to battle for the race lead here at Rockingham. Great battle going on between the top 2 positions. Friesen to the inside, going to take it back away from Matthew Phillips. Here comes Zachary DeLello. DeLello able to get to the inside. That's for the 2nd position. Here comes Silas Orta, trying to get his first career Napa fan win, and his first Chick-fil-A Cup Series win, of course. He's going to get to the inside there. Number 15, and Cody Sill going for his 5th career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory after winning Chicagoland earlier this year. And as you can tell, that outside lane is not where you want to be. Matthew Phillips led the prior lap, and he fell all the way to 5th in just 1 lap here. So that did not work out at all for the Velocitar Racing driver, Matthew Phillips. And going to have to remember that lesson that he learned right there later on in the race. Emily Anderson in 6th. Her teammate John Arndt in 7th. And like I mentioned right when we were taking the green flag, these guys battling to become the first driver to win 20 races on Napa Fan. John Arndt, Garrett Sonora, both at 19 coming into this event. Whereas John Arndt's already won 3 races this year. But Garrett Sonora has not won since November of 2017 on Napa Fan. And Sonora, this could possibly be his final season So I know he would want to retire as a 20-time winner. So we'll have to see what he can do. He's been doing pretty good. He's had a couple of opportunities this season. He's finished second a couple of times this season, but right now he's stuck on the outside, falling back in number 16. John Arndt on Silas Orta. Emily Anderson also got a position there on the number 88 machine. Zachary DeLello coming here on Carter Friesen. DeLello going to get to the inside and battle with Friesen for the race lead. How about this? Uncharted driver going for the race lead. We have yet to see an uncharted driver win a race this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But DeLello is looking to change that in the number 67 for North State Racing. They've already got 3 wins this season. And the yellow. Somebody with a problem on the racetrack. I cannot see where it is. I do not see anybody spinning around. But there is smoke, so my guess is that Nicholas Samadillo got sent around. So the caution's going to come out on lap 10 of 55 here in the MRO 400 from the Rockingham Motor Speedway. Zachary DeLello, Carter Friesen, Cody Sill, Matthew Phillips, and Emily Anderson, the top 5. And Nicholas Samadillo's had a tough season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for Zidell Motorsports. Having a lot of finishes lately outside the top 30. Not been the best of runs for him. Nathan Baird, under this caution, is currently 29th, right where he started. So, not the best of runs for him. We'll have to see what strategy he plays here. A lot of guys coming down the pit lane. Baird is going to come down the pit lane, but some guys are going to stay out. And it looks like Silas Orta is going to inherit the race lead, and that's one thing about the Rockingham Motor Speedway. We get some strategy play out there. And split strategy races are always really fun. You never know who's going to win those things, and we're going to have one here today in the MRO 400. Looks like 6 guys staying out, 7 guys, 8 guys, Patrick Smith being the last one. DeLello got some damage as he was coming on the pit lane there. He won the race off with Cody Sill, Emily Anderson, John Arndt, and Andrew Miller in the number 47, Christian Master, Brad Stover, Fisher G, Nathan Stapleton, and the 33 of Wyatt Quayle. But the race leader is Silas Orta, who decided to stay out on the racetrack. We'll have to see how that strategy plays out for those guys. But first, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the first caution of the day in the MRO 400 from the Rockingham Motor Speedway. You're going to see right here, off of turn number 1, I mentioned turn number 1 being a trouble spot. And Lucas Jacobson just ran right in Nicholas Samadillo. Samadillo, however, was able to save it. And think about this, Nathan Baird was right behind that when it happened, and thankfully for Nathan Baird, he avoided the spinning number 48. That's all that happened to trigger the first caution of the day here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. Replay this in real time, you will see Jacobson getting in the Samadillo. Samadillo just a little bit of rear end damage, but he should be able to run full throttle around this place without any problem. Or not full throttle, but full speed. I don't think you can do full throttle with how flat the racetrack is here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. Everyone's still going to be in. All 42 drivers still in lead lap, and the leader is Silas Orta, who decided to stay out under this caution. Let's see what happens on the restart here in the MRO 401 from Rockingham. Back here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway for the MRO 401 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, season number 8, the final time we will ever come here to the Rockingham Motor Speedway, the final ever MRO 401 here. Silas Orta looking to win that final ever race at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. He's leading the field, but he did not make a pit stop. Top 8 did not come down. Silas Orta, Alexander Rowe, who won here in season number 6. That was his last Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. Garrett Sonor in 3rd. Diego Yepes, Mark Davidson, Lucas Jacobson, who actually triggered the caution, Josh Marzak, Patrick Smith, and then the first guy off the pit lane, Zachary DeLello and Cody Sill. The top 10 back to racing. Lap 14 of 55 at Rockingham. So Silas Orta holding on to the race victory. There's a typo on the leaderboard. It's actually the MRO 401, like it always has been, not the MRO 400. But I just noticed that, and I'm not redoing what I've done so far just to fix that. I want to get this done. Alexander Rowe to the race lead, back out front in the 06. We really haven't talked about Alexander Rowe hardly at all since his last race victory in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But it's great to see him back out front. It's been a long time since he's won on Napa Fan, and I know he is itching to get back in victory lane, but one guy who is really itching to get back in victory lane is this guy, Garrett Sinor, in the number 16. Like I mentioned, I don't know if he's going to be returning for season number 9. There's a good chance this could be his last season. But we'll have to see if he can do it. And other guys who are kind of, in talks of maybe retiring, haven't seen him around too much, and beginning to wonder if they will return. Matt Dahlia on the 79. Of course, it's been a really struggling season for him. This could be his final season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series as well. Of course, I'm only saying that because I have not seen them around as of late. Yellow's back out. And this time is a little bit bigger than it was the first time. Roger Ray with some front-end damage. The number 12, and Michael Campto's got some damage. And Riley Spurley all torn up in the number 39. So a very quick yellow. We will have to see if that benefits these guys. Alexander Rowe, Garrett Sinor. They're going to come down. And so will the guys behind them. So everybody's coming down. That strategy worked out. So now Alexander Rowe, Garrett Sinor, Diego Yepes, they're going to be at the front of the field. I don't believe we have anybody. Carter Friesen staying out, so he's going to inherit the race lead. But he is the only driver staying out here, so we're going to have to see how that all shakes out. However, I would expect these guys who had already made pit stops to maybe take fuel only, not take any tires, and jump these guys who stayed out under that last caution. But Alexander Rowe coming down the pit lane as the race leader. Get a bit of damage right there from Emily Anderson. 4 tires. He's not going to win the race off. It will be Garrett Sinor first off the pit lane in the number 16. With Diego Yepes, Mark Davidson, Cody Sill, Josh Marzek, Lucas Jacobson, Silas Orta, and then the 06 machine, Andrew Miller, first off of the guys who have already made a pit stop in this race, in the number 47. Leader of the race, Carter Friesen, lap down machine, Michael Canto. Let's see what happened to Canto, Spurley, and Roger Ray to bring out the second caution of the day in the MRO 401. Entering turn 2, Ace Garcia dove it in deep, got in to the number 39 Riley Spurley. And Ace Garcia was on the apron, just shot up in the Spurley. I think Spurley pinched him down, and Ace Garcia was not happy about that, and Roger Ray had nowhere to go as Spurley came up the racetrack, and they crashed violently here at Rockingham. So one thing this track is known for is huge wrecks. Matt Dahlia got a piece of that one. Sam Medeo, I believe, got a piece of it in the 48. He's going to hit his team. No, he actually avoided it. I thought he was going to head straight into somebody, but he didn't. Michael Canto, however, whiffed some damage in the number 12 for that one, but still, for Rockingham Motor Speedway standards, it's actually a rather mild accident, so nice to see it not be too drastic, but it's going to knock out Roger Ray, at least, here in the MRO 401. Replay this in real time. This happened right behind Nathan Baird. Baird's been pretty close to all these wrecks. Comes into this thing with an 88-point lead. But he still cannot afford to wreck in any of these races, or otherwise that 88-point lead is going to get a lot smaller in these final 6 races. But either way, Roger Ray all torn up in the number 24, Riley Spurley in the 39, and the number 12, and Michael Campto all involved in this one. Our new race leader is going to be Carter Friesen as he stayed out on the racetrack in the number 68. Going to inherit the lead as he was 20th before the caution came out. So we'll have to see what Friesen does as we get to the restart here in the MRO 401 from Rockingham. Back here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway, we're to get to our second restart of the race. Carter Friesen leads the field in the number 68. Michael Canto a lap down after getting involved in the accident. Garrett Sinor, Diego Yepes, Mark Davidson, and Cody Sill, the top 5. Lucas Jacobson, Silas Orta, Alexander Rowe, 47 of Andrew Miller and Emily Anderson, rounding out the top 10. Josh Marzek was inside the top 10. However, he had come down the pit lane, and Riley Spurley is done. He is blowing up in number 39 after that accident there, and I would assume he is taking that to the garage. And do not see Josh Marzak on the pit, or on the racetrack anymore, I should say. And I would venture to say Marzak is out of the race now in the number 34. He is. One lap down out of this thing. Brad Stover also had an issue. He's a lap down. And Carter Friesen getting benefited by the issue of Michael Campto, who is definitely not up to speed. This could be an issue. I mean, we saw what happened with Ace Garcia there, getting in the Riley Spurley. They can get very antsy here. There's not a lot of room on the racing surface. At least in the racing groove, I should say. And all these guys are going to be fighting for positions to try to get around this number 12 machine. Nathan Stapleton going to get around him. The EGI guys of Emily Anderson and John are stuck behind the 12, especially Anderson. And this is not at all what Anderson wanted, but the good thing is Nathan Baird is still deep in the field. Fitzwater almost getting into his teammate Colton Yo. That was a close one right there, but back to the race lead here at Rockingham. Carter Friesen was able to get that jump because of Michael Canto, but he might not be able to keep it for too long. Mark Davidson in second, Garrett Zenor in third, Cody Sill, Lucas Jacobson. That is the top 5. And Zenor doing all he can to find a way around Mark Davidson. Davidson's already won this year. Oh boy! Get to see how close they are exiting that corner. And if Zenor was to slide up just a couple inches farther up the racetrack, he would have sent Mark Davidson in the inside wall. But Zenor able to make the pass on Mark Davidson for the second position. He's now going to have his eye set on Carter Friesen for the race lead. 3 wide. Diego Yepez in turn number 4 to the inside of Lucas Jacobson and Cody Sill. Here comes Andrew Miller and Alexander Rowe to the inside of Sill as well. And this could be a very interesting situation through the corner. But they keep it together. Very good job by those guys avoiding any accident. Carter Friesen just driving away from the rest of the field. Of course, he is the only driver on his team who has yet to get a victory this season. Diego Yepez and Wyatt Quayle won very early on in the season at California and Las Vegas, respectively. And with these guys continuing the battle for the second position, we can expect Carter Friesen to pull away even more. And then number 68, Mark Davidson, back to the inside of Garrett Zenor. Zenor is going to fall back to the third position. Still going for that 20th career Napa fan win. He's been stuck at 19 since, like I mentioned, November of 2017. His last win came in what was then the Napa Truck Series from Armory Digital. Of course, they changed sponsors last year, the Truck Series did. The Turkey Hill Truck Series ran a whole entire season of trucks. Been, I don't know how many seasons in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series now. This is his 4th season without a victory in the Cup Series up to this point. But Zenor keeps on fighting, and he's done a decent job this year. I gotta hand him a lot of credit after, you know, the career he's had as of late. He's been running up front a lot more as of late than I've seen him run up front, but still a long race here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway, and we know how this place can be. We can get a huge wreck to occur here. These guys are not careful. The good thing is these guys can go a little bit longer on fuel than Carter Friesen. The thing is, we really don't know what the fuel window is in this race if we happen to go green for an extended period of time. As if that is the case, where we have a long green flag run, these guys are definitely going to have to come down again. Just the matter is, when will it be? My goodness, Garrett Zenor got a run on Davidson. Got into Davidson. Got into Davidson again. He is done with Davidson. Davidson's going to lose 4 positions in one corner. He got stuck on the outside, almost lost his race car. And he might not be too happy with the veteran driver of Garrett Zenor after that one. Zenor up to the second position, but now Diego Yepez is up here, trying to get William Brock's team 1-2 here at the Rock Across the Pond. Andrew Miller going for his first career Napa fan win. Oh boy, and Yepez going to put that same move on Zenor that Zenor did on Davidson earlier on. That's not going to work out too well, but Miller up to third now. Here comes Alexander Rowe moving his way back to the inside, and Zenor continues to fall back. All this battling for second has allowed Carter Friesen to pull away by over 2 seconds. Great job by Friesen up to this point, but the thing is, he's on a totally different strategy than the rest of these guys. He's going to have to come down the pit lane sooner than anybody else. But Friesen continues to lead. The battle's on for second. Andrew Miller in the number 47. has now cleared Diego Yepes, Alexander Rowe, and Fisher G is up to the 5th position for Dirk Motor Racing. Carter Friesen going for his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. It's not been the best of seasons for him. I believe he comes into this race 39th in points. Of course, the only guy behind him in points is Jonathan Skivnicki, and was kind of surprised because he actually won a race earlier this season. As for Skivnicki, he's fallen outside the top 10 and about midway through the field right now as he started inside the top 10. Ball back here on Nathan Baird. Nathan Baird deep in the field, 30th right now. Not the best of runs right there. Emily Anderson and Matthew Phillips are both ahead of him. There is number 15. And the number 5 is... Actually, excuse me. Emily Anderson is not ahead of him. Matthew Phillips is ahead of him. But Anderson with some issues. She's fallen to the back of the field. So I am wrong about that. Nathan Baird's still going to gain a little bit on Emily Anderson, but he might not have the same points lead as he did heading into this race because Matthew Phillips is ahead of him looking to close in. But Emily Anderson has not been having a lot of good runs as of late here. And that has really hurt her. That's part of the reason why Nathan Baird has such a large point lead. Another wreck. Matt Dalio, Zachary DeLello, Herjalarvin Alonso, and Nicholas Samadio. And the thing is here, the more drivers that wreck in this race, the farther up Nathan Baird is going to finish. And Nathan Baird's still out there with a clean race car. But Matt Dalio destroyed in the number 79. Same with Zachary DeLello. Nicholas Samadio with a lot of damage. And I forget who the other driver was. It was Alonso, number 30, who was also involved in an accident. And that strategy is going to work out for Carter Friesen. He's going to be the race leader here as they all come back down the pit lane. I don't know if they can make it from here, though. We'll have to see. So Carter Friesen probably led the most laps so far in this race, followed by Alexander Rowe. Alexander Rowe with a very good chance at possibly taking this lead away from him when we get to the restart. Andrew Miller, Fisher G, and Diego Yepes, the top 5s that come down the pit lane for the 3rd time today. Anybody staying out here? Oh no, is that Garrett Sonor? Garrett Sonor blowing up in the number 16. Absolutely unbelievable. He's going to be out of the race. And he's not going to win number 20 here today. He was doing such a great job. Thought he had a very good chance at winning this thing. But unfortunately, could not avoid trouble here today. Nathan Baird, you see him right there. Oh, contact! Last week's winner around. A tight pit lane here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. And we've seen some issues there here today. It might be why Brad Stover has his damage in number 99. Andrew Miller, Diego Yepes, Fisher G, Lucas Jacobson, Alexander Rowe. Friesen fell back to 7th. So we'll have to see how he does on this restart. But either way, new race leader is Andrew Miller. We'll have to see what he can do in this race. We saw what happened with Carter Friesen that last time around. He was able to pull away like crazy. If we get another long green flag run, we could see Andrew Miller do the same. We'll have to see what happens. Let's first of all see what happened to bring out the 3rd caution of the day here in the MRO 401. Off of turn number 1, Nicholas Samadio getting in the Herjalarvin Alonso. And I can imagine Alonso's not going to be too happy about that because that one is on Samadio all the way. And I don't know which one of these guys comes up and clears the field, but the thing is, it's such a short distance between turns 1 and 2 that they spin into the infield there in turn 1. They come back up the racetrack in turn 2, and I think Alonso's going to come right up on Zachary DeLello, get into DeLello and into the outside wall, and this is going to be a hard hit for DeLello. And I'm thinking... Dalio avoided Samadio, but he could not avoid the 67 right, oh my, in the driver's door. Be thankful this is just a video game and not real life. That would have been a terrible hit if it was. But Dalio right into the number 67 machine of Zachary DeLello. 4 guys involved. Samadio might be able to continue. Only has some side damage. But Alonso, Dalio, and DeLello all going to be out of the race after this one. And you're going to see right here, San Mateo just get into Alonso. San Mateo hit the inside wall over there, and Alonso clears right into Zachary DeLello, and that was a hard hit, and DeLello's going to take another hard hit as Dahlia runs right into him. And turns 1 and 2, just the worst spots to be if you're going around here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. New race leader is Andrew Miller. We'll have to see what he can do on the restart. Might be his first laps led of the year here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but I'm excited to see what he can do in the race lead. I don't think he's ever been given this kind of opportunity before in a Napa fan race. Going for his first career Napa fan win, we'll have to see if my good buddy can do it. Let's get back to the restart here in the MRO 401. We're back here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway and got some fresh faces just inside the top 10, but new face up front, Andrew Miller. Leading this field with Diego Yepez, Fisher G, Lucas Jacobson, Alexander Rowe, Wyatt Quayle, Carter Friesa, Nathan Stapleton, John Art, Silas Orta, the top 10. Daniel McMillan just outside the top 10 in the number 75. Drivers out of the race include, I believe Stover is still in, and so is Canto, Garrett Snor, who blew up, Zachary DeLello in the number 67, Harry Gillard and Alonso, Matt Dalio. And, of course, from the prior accident, Riley Spurley, Josh Marzak, and Roger Ray all out of the race. Marzak with another internal issue as well. So not all those guys were out because of crash damage. And this time, Andrew Miller not able to pull away. Here comes Yepez, and I have a good feeling about Yepez in this one. This is the kind of race I have a feeling Yepez is going to be able to excel at and win. Number 92 to the inside for the race lead. Miller's going to fall back just a little bit here. Here comes Fisher G. To see what Fisher G can do here. We haven't seen much of him all year here on Napa Fan in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Of course, his rookie season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but remember the 2017 Napa Truck Series. He won 3 races and the final 2 races of the season. Back-to-back, Phoenix and Homestead at the end of the year. That was his spotlight all the way back in the day, but right now, trying to get his first ever Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victories. He's battling with Diego Yepez. 20 laps to go now, 19 to go in the MRO 401 at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. And Diego Yepez holding on to the race lead. Alexander Rowe trying to get on Andrew Miller. That is for the 3rd position. Carter Friesen up to 5th. Nathan Stapleton trying to get his first Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory since last year at Martinsville. John Art going for his 20th career Napa fan win. Lucas Jacobson, Silas Orta, both going for their first career Napa fan wins here today as well. McMillan, John Andrews is there. And Matthew Phillips trying to do all he can to close in that points gap from Nathan Barrett, but Barrett's kind of found his way midway through the field at this point. And mainly just because he's been able to avoid all the wrecks. Now, he could still get involved in something. You never know. I mean, we saw what happened. And for the race lead, I don't know what happened here. We did see what happened to Yepez. But 2 passes for the race lead. Andrew Miller is back up top here at Rockingham. Yepez probably lost it through the corner. Fisher G got to the inside of him, but Fisher G lost it. And that allowed Andrew Miller to pull away and get to the inside and take the race lead from Fisher G. So new race leader Andrew Miller. And as I was mentioning, we saw what happened in the IndyCar penultimate race at Watkins Glen last week with Justin Zeidel wrecking in that event. That could easily happen to Nathan Baird. You just never know. That's why we race. Nathan Baird up to the 21st position. Still 17 laps to go. Going to be 16 this time by. Here comes Friesen. Friesen's back to the inside. That's for second. Friesen's been moving his way through the field very well. And then number 68. Andrew Miller, however, is starting to pull away a little bit, or trying to pull away a little bit. Friesen has gotten around Alexander Rowe for the 2nd position. Rowe's up to 3rd. Fisher G and Nathan Stapleton, the top 5. John Art, Silas Orta, Lucas Jacobson, Daniel McMillan, who's won at the other Rockingham before. That was last season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, where he won at the Rockingham Speedway in Rockingham, North Carolina. He's also moving his way through the field very nicely at this moment. Good job by Daniel McMillan. One of 3 car teams yet to get a victory this season. Outer Island Motorsports and Beast Racing. Me and Marty Nicholas Wade's team, however, has been doing a great job this season. They're second in the Owners' Championship, just behind Titan Fury. Titan Fury's not had a good day so far. Their highest guy in this event, if I can find him, is Trey Bartow, and he's about midway through the field, so it's a huge opportunity for Nicholas Wade's team. They got Alexander Rowe trying to find a way past Carter Friesen, get to Andrew Miller, unable to get to him right now. Stapleton's going to fall back, going to lose the position. Oh boy, Fisher G got into him. Here comes John Hart. That is for the 5th position. Gotta watch out for John Hart in this thing. John Hart is a solid driver, and you know he's going to have a shot. And Daniel McMillan, if he can get to the inside of Salas Orta and Nathan Stapleton and get up to the back bumper of John Hart, I think McMillan also has a chance. But Andrew Miller pulling away on the 47, trying to keep everyone behind him. Carter Friesen, as long as he doesn't get Alexander Rowe to the inside of him, I think Friesen's going to have a shot at Andrew Miller here. Both of these guys going for their first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victories. Alexander Rowe going for his 4th, but he's yet to win since 2017 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Fisher G going for his first win. John Hart, I think it would be his 6th Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory, or his 7th. He won at Pocono earlier this year. This place has a bit of a similarity to Pocono, just a bit. The corners are a lot like the tunnel turn, if you think about it. And then John Hart was able to hold off Nathan Baird in that race to win his 19th career Napa fan race. I believe that would have been his 6th career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory, and Carter Friesen is closing in here on Andrew Miller. And we are closing in on 11 laps to go in the MRO 401. Here we go. Carter Friesen with the run to the inside for the race lead. Really close to the line. Miller's going to lead the lap, but Friesen's going to take it away. Here comes Alexander Rowe. That's going to open the door for Rowe. I think Rowe's going to take it right here. And he's bringing Fisher G right with him, but to the inside. Alexander Rowe with the run. Unable to get to the inside of Carter Friesen. Miller's going to try to clear Fisher G for 3rd. He will. But you cannot count out Alexander Rowe quite yet. McMillan's gotten by Stapleton and Orta. He's going to move himself up to the 6th position. And you cannot count out John Hart either, but as you can tell, it's hard to kind of work your way through the field here at Rockingham. Not too hard to make a pass, but getting up to a guy is a little bit difficult. Once you get to him, it's easy, but they're going to have a little bit of something else to worry about, a restart. And another wreck. It looks like Sebastian Kukulon's gone around. He's got heavy damage in number 13. It's not been a good day for Titan Fury, and it looks like Emily Anderson might have also gotten caught up in this one. That's just a tough one for Emily Anderson because, you know, she's second in the points, trying to close in there on the number 40 of Nathan Baird. I thought John Hart was going to come down the pit lane. Like, if nobody else is, you should be able to make it. This is going to open the door for this race victory. You have McMillan and John Hart. I think those are two guys you really have to watch out for because McMillan especially seemed to be working his way through the field very well back in there. Of course, Carter Friesen's got a fast race car. He is the race leader. And Alexander Rowe as well. I don't know if Andrew Miller's going to have enough or Fisher G. They might have used up all their stuff. We're just going to have to find out. But either way, we are going to have ourselves a late race restart here in the MRO 401. It's been a pretty good race here at Rockingham. Not going to lie, it's been entertaining. And when you completely take the championship picture out of it, you know, all these races are fun to watch. And see who gets the race victory. That's basically what we're just doing at this point. Just giving out some Chick-fil-A Cup Series race wins. Nathan Baird, solid day considering where he started, 21st. He's going to hold on to the points lead with still a large margin on the rest of the field heading into Bristol next weekend. Of course, next Friday night, the Crystal Night race at Bristol. 100 smackaroons around that Bristol Motor Speedway. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Sometimes it's just randomly insert words and think they're going to mean what I want them to mean. I mean laps, but I wanted to sound really cool so you guys would watch it next week, but that's not going to do it. You might as well just unsubscribe from me for saying that. Let's go ahead and see what happened quickly to Sebastian Kukulon and get to the restart here in the MRO 401. Only going to replay this once. We've seen a lot of this today. Emily Anderson got in the Kukulon. Kukulon took a hard hit to the inside wall there. Thankfully, the pack had passed them by the time they slid up in the turn 2. But that's going to give us a very interesting scenario here for this race victory. A lot of good guys up front. I mean, Carter Friesen, Alexander Rowe. Friesen's been driving for quite a while here. Of course, Alexander Rowe for longer. Andrew Miller about the same time as Friesen. Fisher G's been driving for a long time. John Arn's been driving longer than any other guy inside the top 10 right now. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's been driving longer than John Andrews and Nathan Stapleton there. And then you got Daniel McMillan as well. And even John Andrews is up here. You got to watch out for Andrews because he can definitely surprise us in that 04 machine. We'll have to see what happens. We'll get to the restart here. Under 10 laps to go in the MRO 401 from the Rockingham Motor Speedway. The final ever race here at this racetrack. All these guys want to be the final ever winner here at the Rock across the pond. We'll have to see which one of these drivers gets it done here in the MRO 401. Let's get to the restart here in the 23rd race of the season. We are going to have 6 laps left in this event. And it's anybody's game inside the top 10, I believe. Carter Friesen, the race leader. Alexander Rowe going for his first win since right here 2 years ago. Andrew Miller, Fisher G, John Art, Daniel McMillan, John Andrews, Silas Orta, Nathan Stapleton, and Lucas Jacobson. Rounding out the top 10. Only driver knocked out from that accident, or 2 drivers knocked out, I should say, Emily Anderson and Sebastian Kukulon. Green flag back in the air. No jump for Friesen on Alexander Rowe, and this might be good for the 06. Alexander Rowe trying to close in on Carter Friesen for the race lead. They're all right on each other, and Alexander Rowe, with the back bumper to the 68, is going to stay right behind him for now. Oh boy, here we go. Alexander Rowe. He's got the quarter panel on Carter Friesen. He's got the inside lane, and the 06 going to take it away with 5 laps to go. I didn't think Andrew Miller was going to have enough in his tires to hold on here, but he's going to get to the inside of Friesen. Up to the 2nd position. Fisher G getting in the Carter Friesen. And around goes the 6. Is he going to come back up the racetrack? Yes, he is. That's going to do it. The race is going to end. The battle for the win. Andrew Miller trying to pass the 06 of Alexander Rowe. Will he get to the inside? Coming across the line. He will not. Alexander Rowe's going to break the long losing streak and win once again at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. Only unless, of course, something happens to him in these final few laps under caution. Fisher G with a rookie mistake, shot it up too hard into turn number 1. Got him the Carter Friesen exiting the corner. Thankfully for Friesen, he was able to save it, remain in the 3rd position. But Fisher G totaled, along with Wyatt Quayle and Lucas Jacobson. And with that, Nathan Baird up to the 13th position will finish ahead of all his major championship contenders once again. But Alexander Rowe, it's great to see this guy get a good run here today. Like I mentioned, won this race back in season number 6. It might have been the last time he won a race on Napa Fan. But he's going to have to maneuver 3 more laps under caution, and the race is his. Let's go and see what happened to bring out the final caution of the day here in the MRO 401. And we saw this happen live. Fisher G got in the Carter Friesen, lost it in the infield, in the inside wall and around. And then right here, Lucas Jacobson, Wyatt Quayle, right into him. And Patrick Smith got a piece of that, so did Seth Cole. But that was about it. Nothing as major as I thought it was actually going to be. Then you see the battle to the line. Andrew Miller could not get to the inside, and Alexander Rowe able to hold on and win the race back to the line. So that pass he made on Carter Friesen, the winning move, let's ensure that he gets the race victory as we get the official finish here in the MRO 401 from the Rockingham Motor Speedway. And we are on the white flag lap here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. This is the final lap around this place in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and it's rather fitting that a guy who has won here before is going to win the final race, become the only driver to win multiple times here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. Alexander Rowe If he crosses the line first, it'll be his first career, or should I say, fourth career. I don't even think about what I'm saying anymore. Fourth career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory, and with that, he's going to be up there with a list of Chick-fil-A Cup Series race winners. But it's really neat to see Alexander Rowe go back to victory lane. He's been kind of hiding in the back of the field for pretty much ever since he won his last race here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He was up front this entire race, battled for it hard, and in the end, it's going to pay off for him. And he's not coming down the pit lane here, so I would venture to say that Alexander Rowe will be your race winner here in the MRO 401. Wade Enterprises going to grab. I believe it's going to be their second win of the season. And Alexander Rowe going to be that driver who gets the second win of the season. Alexander Rowe wins the final race at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. He wins the MRO 401, the 23rd race of the season. His second win here at the Rock across the pond, and he will be the final ever winner here. Very, very great job out of that 06 machine making that pass on Carter Friesen, but you got to hand it to Friesen. He also did a great job in this race. Took that strategy to stay out, and that's what put him in that position, but he just could not hold on. As Alexander Rowe just had the advantage the whole time. And Andrew Miller, that's his best career finish on Napa Fan, I do believe. Well, it has to be, because he's never won before. So it at least ties his best career finish, and he's going to finish second here today. Maybe a win will be coming here soon. John R. Daniel McMillan round out the top 5. John Andrews, Nathan Stapleton, Silas Orta, Mitchell Henderson, Zachary Fitzwater, the top 10. Nathan Barrett finishing 13th. So he's probably going to have a well over 100-point lead heading into Bristol next weekend. So we're probably not even going to focus on the championship. I mean, we didn't even focus on the championship in this race, but really, we're at a point now there's almost no need to focus on the championship at this point. 2 more top 10 finishes out of Nathan Barrett, and it's done. And Barrett's got this championship. It's amazing what he's been able to do this season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Alexander Rowe, the race winner. The rest of the results right there. A lot of issues, but not all those were accidents. Garrett Sonor and Josh Marzak were both out because of mechanical issues. Didn't really work out too well for those guys in this race, and especially for Garrett Sonor because he was running up front earlier on in this thing. So he could have had a shot at the race victory, but unfortunately did not get the chance. But either way, Alexander Rowe, the race winner here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway for our final ever race here. Next week, like I mentioned, going to be at Bristol. That's going to be a fun one for the Crystal Night race at Bristol. And of course, also next weekend is the Haas IndyCar Series Championship, noon Eastern Time, next Saturday afternoon. The Haas World Championship 100 in the Haas IndyCar Series, and we're going to have ourselves a great championship battle over there. Got 4 guys in contention heading into that finale race. Congratulations to Alexander Rowe on his race victory. Here are the championship standings for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series after 23 races. And I will see you guys next week for the Crystal Night race at Bristol. I will see you guys later.
I'm a fighter, victory in my blood. King of the ring, no, I can't be touched. I'm a fighter, I'm first to the punch. Knocking them out, taking them down. I was made to win, the best that's ever been. I'm a living legend. I'm a living legend. Watch me move, turn me loose, let me do what I do. I'm a living legend. I'm a living legend. Ever been.